Danger in the sky after another air traffic controller incident, but this time it involves a plane carrying the First Lady.
KTLA's Brandi Hitt is live in Burbank with more on this scary incident. Brandi.
This was a close enough call. The plane carrying the First Lady had to abort its landing at the last minute at Andrews Air Force Base. And officials say a mistake was made by the air traffic controllers. An airplane carrying the First Lady was behind a military cargo jet as both were coming in for a landing at Andrews Air Force Base Monday. Federal officials told the Washington Post air traffic controllers made a mistake in letting the First Lady's plane get within 3 miles of the C-17 because turbulence created by the C-17 in extreme cases could cause the plane behind it to crash. Also, once the C-17 landed, officials did not think the plane would get out of the way in time for the First Lady's plane to land.
Part of it's personal responsibility, showing up, doing your job, and doing it as a well-rested controller.
This comes at a time air traffic controllers have come under fire. Several were recently found sleeping on the job. Another was suspended in Cleveland after the FAA says Sunday he wasn't watching the skies. Instead, he was watching Samuel L. Jackson's movie, Cleaner.
Yeah, there's enough here for everybody.
His microphone was activated, and pilots could hear the movie playing over the radio frequency. Now the FAA administrator and the head of the National Air Traffic Controllers Union are touring the country, getting to the bottom of the problem.
They'll be all over the country over the next week talking to controllers, trying to find out if there is something systemic about this.
FAA's own scientists with NASA and the Controllers Union recommended napping on the job as in a controlled manner so that they wouldn't have a safety issue.
Over the weekend, the federal government did announce changes to how controllers will be scheduled, now requiring at least 9 hours between shifts instead of 8. But it's not clear exactly what led to this latest mistake made involving the First Lady's landing. Late today, the FAA did say that it's investigating the incident, that the Boeing landed safely, and that the aircraft were never in danger. The First Lady's plane, we should add, did circle the airport several times. It did land safely, and even late today, the White House said the First Lady's life was also never in danger. Live in Burbank, Brandi Hitt, KTLA 5 News. Sharon.
An air controller's mistake is getting lots of attention tonight, not because of any disastrous result, but because of who was in danger.
Yeah, this time it was a plane that was carrying the First Lady, Michelle Obama, that was involved. Brandi Hitt is live now in Burbank with details on this close call. Brandi.
Well, Glenn, can you believe it? Tonight, the FAA is launching yet another investigation into air traffic controllers, and this time it involves the First Lady's flight getting too close to a military jet. A jet carrying First Lady Michelle Obama was behind a military C-17 as both were coming in for a landing at Andrews Air Force Base on Monday.
He made an error in judgment and allowed the two planes to get too close to one another.
Washington Post reporter Ashley Halsley III says sources first told him air traffic controllers allowed the First Lady's 737 to get within 3 miles of the C-17. They're supposed to be 5 miles back because turbulence created by the military jet could cause the plane behind it to crash. And that wasn't the only risk.
There was a possibility that the cargo jet would still be on the runway when Michelle Obama's plane went to land. They ordered it to go around.
The FAA released a statement saying it is, quote, investigating the incident. The Boeing 737 landed safely after executing the go-around. The aircraft were never in any danger, end quote.
Part of it's personal responsibility, showing up, doing your job, and doing it as a well-rested controller.
But this incident comes after 7 air traffic controllers have been suspended, some for sleeping on the job. Another was caught Sunday not watching the sky, but watching Samuel L. Jackson's movie, Cleaner.
Yeah, there's enough here for everybody. Yep.
A microphone was activated, and pilots could hear the movie playing over the radio. The FAA and Air Traffic Controllers Union are now trying to get to the bottom of the growing problem.
NASA and the Controllers Union recommended napping on the job as in a controlled manner.
Last weekend, the federal government did change the way controllers are scheduled, now requiring at least 9 hours between shifts instead of 8. As for this latest incident involving the First Lady's flight, pilots say these kinds of calls are made all the time.
As errors go, it's not a huge error.
And late this afternoon, the White House released a statement saying the First Lady's life was not in danger. Live in Burbank, Brandi Hitt, KTLA 5 News. Glenn, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Brandi.